Global Nutcracker Podcast.
Hello, beautiful people. We're back again with the Global Nutcracker podcast at day 3 at the Web Summit. And we have a very special guest here from Serbia. Una, thank you very much. She's coming from a company called Heroic Rankings, which is enabling people to do crazy stuff in the digital marketing world. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. What an introduction. It's an honor to be here.
Please, can you tell me more about the company? Where did it start? How did it develop? Where are the people located now?
We started in Serbia, in Novi Sad, so not the capital. We are now at 17 people in our team. And we grew very, very fast. So in the last 3 years, a lot has happened. I think that was one of the main issues, like how fast we grew.
Fantastic. I understand. Where are the people located, more or less?
Serbia, mainly. Got some in Romania as well.
In Romania as well. Okay, perfect. What has been your main challenge, would you say, when it comes to scaling, both in terms of numbers of people, but also scaling the geographies?
hmm In terms of scaling with the people, I think when you grow fast, it leaves a lot of gaps in the processes and the teams that were before manageable, and they're not anymore. So having systems in place for that and that everybody feels, I think the company culture is very important, that everybody feels like they can surface problems and ideas as soon as possible. I think that's one of the keys.
Okay. And then in terms of geographies, because there's a lot of, let's say, cultural problems, time zone problems that might emerge, alignment issues when you're not working, from the same region, the same country. On this sense, have you seen any difficulties when, for example, expanding in Romania in terms of geographies?
Think that goes back to having a company culture where your team feels like they have a certain amount of freedom, right? I guess we're special in some way because we operate on a performance model. So as long as you're performing, you have the freedom to operate in your own ways. Does that make sense? So I think that makes it easier for people to join our team. So again, it goes back to mindset and having the right systems for them.
Understand. Uh,
It
what would
wasn't
what would you say that what would you say is the key factor to being able to scale in terms of cross regions? Rather, right now we're standing more and we're in Europe, we're still in the Balkans, right? On the wider Balkans. So, what would be, according to you, the next steps to maybe scaling into the US uh, commercially, but also with people with boots on the ground there?
So you're thinking in terms of like the team.
Yeah, the team itself.
Like if I wanted to expand my team in
Yes,
US,
yes.
what would be the biggest issue?
Mm.
I think probably how do you even vet that talent? It's different. They have different ways of operating than us, different standard, professionally speaking. So I think that would be an issue in terms of how to integrate them to that culture. That's very, very different. I don't know if that answers.
No, definitely, because everyone has different pain points or bottlenecks that they're there. Somebody mentions scaling, somebody mentions money, somebody mentions alignment. In this case, it's like the assessment of talent, because at the end of the day, today, talent is the highest valuable currency in the startup business. So if you don't have talent, you basically don't have anything. You can have all the money in the world. When it comes to the goals for 2026 for the company, um, what have you set up your eyes to? What do you want to achieve out of the next year?
I guess a proof of concept that all the reconstruction that we did this year in terms of operations systems is sustainable. So with the team, for sure, being able to hire consistently, not sporadically when there's a need. So yeah, just really putting all of that to a test.
And if you were to give an advice to new founders who are navigating themselves into making a choice whether to go global, whether to go local, whether to go regional, what would it be from your own perspective?
I think in terms of energy, so I think there's a natural route to go. You can force all of the projects, ideas, tools you want to build. But if that's not like the natural growth trajectory and it doesn't, like if it's not interconnected and it doesn't all align and make sense with the bigger picture, then there's no sense of doing it now. You can like push it back to later. But I think a lot of founders get into a mindset where it's like scale and effort, but effort is no longer going to bring your company to that level. It's about systems and clarity. So I think maybe my advice to them would be to not be scared to slow down and have a really honest like company culture, because I think honesty is the key to success. Honesty creates clarity, clarity creates speed, speed creates progress, progress creates momentum, momentum equals success. So at the root of that is honesty. So if you have a team that can just tell you like, hey, this is not the time to do this project, like we're at capacity, you're just going to grow at a much higher rate than if you were just trying to do everything, scale globally, this, that. So take the natural growth trajectory and don't be afraid to slow down.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, there's a certain FOMO around not being able to scale. And a lot of companies are scaling for the sake of scaling in terms of headcount, in terms of geographies. They're rushing into getting more investment without setting um, very good foundations, which to the end of the day make the business. And a lot of cash, a lot of energy, a lot of human capital gets burned in the way. So definitely having that transparency that you're mentioning becomes crucial for a business if they want to grow efficiently, consistently, and be there for the long run, which is the most important thing. Because as we all know here, most of the startups do not survive the journey, and you need to be one of them who actually survives. Good. Now we'll move into the rapid fire section. We have 3 questions for you. I want you to be super precise, super clear with them. First question: in 3 words, the best things to scale, the best things you need to do to scale globally.
It's not about effort.
It's not about effort. Perfect. Love it. What is the weirdest compliance rule you've ever seen?
I can't think of one. I haven't been faced with a lot of compliance rules, to be fair. I think that's going to be very relevant this year.
As you grow, it will be a lot of
Yes.
headaches coming
Oh,
from that
yeah.
one.
Gonna
Good.
need help.
And last but not least, if time and money wasn't an issue, we are living in a fairy tale world, right?
Yes.
Those 2 things do not exist. They're not an issue for us. Where would you expand your business?
Personally, Japan.
Japan. Okay, I have to ask why.
It goes back to the culture stuff, the way they do their work, their mindset, what they value. I think, especially as a marketing company, like you can't market a brand that you don't understand or that you don't relate to. So if they operate in the same way as me, I know that I can make magic for them.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Unai. It was a pleasure having you. I wish you and Heroic Rankings a great 2026, and I'm sure you will have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go global, not nuts.